wedding, the reception, the honeymoon, and all that. And I'm really happily married. I'm glad that I found love. But for a lot of people, the wedding and the reception and all that can be a source of stress because people incur a lot of debt simply from the wedding. And money is one of the top things that breaks up married couples. So this is, I find fascinating. So we're gonna go to an article in CNBC, and let me go ahead and share this screen with you guys. But in this article, it talks about why some people chose to use a credit card to pay for their wedding. But there's one catch to it that they have to pay attention if they decide to do that. And it also recommended something else that could come in handy if you're planning a wedding. Let's go ahead and share the screen here. There we go. It's from CNBC. Let's make sure I can see you guys. All right. Boom. All right. So let's go to the top of this article here. It's from CNBC. Credit cards can be an amazing tool for your wedding, an expert says. This is from Anna Teresa Soleil, I believe that is. And then, so here's some of the key points. It mentions how 2/3 of surveyed couples use some sort of financing for their wedding, according to LendingTree. And it talks about some of the rising costs of weddings. The average cost is $36,000 according to Zola, the wedding site. And so let's get into this article here. And basically, just like we mentioned, people financing their wedding. They surveyed a bunch of newlyweds. They didn't say how many they surveyed, but 46% of couples who tied the knot within the past 2 years use mostly savings to pay for the cost. 24% pay with credit cards, according to LendingTree. Oh, there it is. And they polled just over 1,000 newlyweds. Now, according to Zola, they surveyed 6,000 people in 2025. They found that nearly 1/3 of engaged couples plan to use credit cards to pay for their wedding. And it says, according to Matt Schultz of LendingTree, if you're strategic, a credit card could be an amazing tool. And otherwise, a credit card could be a slippery slope that they just create more bills and more debt. 2/3 of surveyed newlyweds took on debt to pay for the wedding. For new cars, the average APR is 24%, so very high APR. Ultimately, a beautiful wedding should never come at the cost of financial stress to a new marriage, according to a wealth management firm, Gloria Garcia Cisneros. All right, so how does this work with the paying for a wedding with a card? All right, so most people they say a lot of people use their savings to pay for a wedding. Average cost being $36,000. It was up from $33,000 and $29,000 and 2024 and 23 respectively. So what people would do is they would take their savings. They usually pay for their wedding costs from savings, but what they would do if you wanted to use your credit card, especially if you got one with a nice limit on it, it's going to require one to have a nice limit on it and reward either sign up bonuses or reward points. If you got those two things, what you could do is you would pay for your wedding expenses, whatever you're buying for the wedding with your card, start racking up those bonus points and reward points and stuff like that, and then just use your savings to pay it off. That way your savings keeping you out of debt, but also generating some bonus rewards. According to Schultz, he says that's a way to make those savings work hard for you. Not to mention credit cards, they offer layers of federal protection. In case you have to dispute something, it's easier to get a refund if you use a card. So that's the deal. So you basically just take your savings. Instead of just paying out your savings, you use your card, pay it off with the savings, and then you rack up the reward points, which you can use on your honeymoon. That'll be good, especially if you got $36,000 worth of wedding expenses. You rack all those bonus points on your credit card. You can get some nice bonus points, and then when you go on your honeymoon, you pretty much getting free meals and stuff like that. However, the catch is you have to pay off the credit card. You have to wipe it out immediately, at least by the statement date, so that you don't get charged interest, right? Otherwise, you're just running up high limits, which creates more debt and lowers your credit score. Don't take on debt for a short-term event. That's what it says, is pay off in full, according to Ted Roseman of Bankrate.com. I would definitely not recommend. He didn't recommend doing this strategy. It's tricky. It's tricky. You have to be disciplined with this strategy. It's tricky. So he pretty much said the same thing I am. Nearly a quarter of newlyweds married within 2 years of the survey are still paying debt off. And those that still owe money, 47% said they will finish paying off the debt 6 months to a year. But basically, whatever you decide to do, you don't want to sacrifice your mental and relationship health stressing out over debt. Now, here's the other trick. Here's another trick that layers to this trick. It mentions how a 0 APR credit card. I forgot. I knew it was missing one. So you get your card with a nice limit, bunch of bonus rewards, and a 0 APR. You can tack all them things, and in addition to using your savings to pay for these expenses, you can rack up a lot of bonus rewards, and you can implement a powerful strategy to pay for your wedding. Is there anything else they want to say? Let's look through here. It just mentions how some vendors may only take cash, a check, or charge you extra, blah, blah, blah. Now, I also hear CNBC recommends wedding insurance. Now, I never heard of wedding insurance. My wedding didn't cost that much to have wedding insurance, from what I remember. Wedding insurance trumps credit protections. And basically, I guess you can get insurance just in case you get a hurricane. That could happen, especially where I live at in Virginia. September is warm, it is. But now,